Which chapter? Okay, see how many types of combustions are there? There are 3 different types of combustion. One type of combustion is also there. Actually, there are 4 types of combustions, but that another one that I'm telling you, I will tell you later about it. So the 3 different types of combustions are rapid combustion, explosion, and spontaneous combustion. What is rapid combustion? When the fuel or the combustible substance, whatever we are using, catches fire rapidly and produces heat and light. That is called rapid combustion. Rapid combustion of LPG, matchstick, paper, and the
What is LPG?
Liquefied petroleum gas, the gas cylinder that you use, right? So when you just turn on the gas, you turn on the gas and it catches fire immediately, right? You just
Yes, ma'am, with lighter.
With the lighter or matchstick, anything, who uses which one. So the LPG, matchstick, paper, all and the oil lamp, the wick of the oil lamp, the cotton that we use for burning that oil lamp, that's that thing. These are examples of rapid combustion. So whenever we burn them, whenever it goes to its ignition temperature, right? You have learned about ignition temperature in the previous page.
Yes, ma'am.
See, so ignition temperature means the minimum temperature that any substance needs for burning, right? So that is the ignition temperature. Only when the temperature is above ignition temperature, then only any combustible substance can be burnt. Okay, so that catches fire instantly whenever the ignition temperature, the temperature arises from at the above level of ignition temperature, then that is called rapid combustion. Now, explosion, a sudden reaction with the release of heat, light, and sound, in which large amount of gas and energy is released. That is called explosion. Burning of crackers is an example of explosion. An explosion can also occur upon the application of pressure. So when you apply pressure for explosion, then only a large amount of energy is also released. And those explosions are very, very dangerous for us also, because that energy that is released, that can harm our body, that can harm us. So explosion is the sudden reaction which immediately emits tremendous amount of heat, sound, and energy, and light also. So you have burned crackers. All of you must have burned crackers once. So
Yes, ma'am.
that is an example of explosion. Now the third one is spontaneous combustion. When a material suddenly bursts into flame without the application of any heat. This was I was telling you in the last class that some substances are there that catches fire instantly whenever you just take it out in the air. It reacts with oxygen and catches the fire. So these substances are always kept in suppose in water or in other substances. In kerosene also some substances are there. It is called spontaneous combustion. So whenever you will take it out into the air, it will get burned. Okay, so these combustions are called spontaneous combustions. For example, the ignition temperature of white phosphorus is 35 degrees centigrade. If the room temperature is
White phosphorus?
ignition temperature, that means the temperature what is needed for burning any substance. Okay, and the ignition temperature.
So the picture of white. Sorry, what?
Yes, Monoshi, tell it.
Ma'am, you tell. So the picture of white phosphorus.
Okay. You want to see white phosphorus? Okay, I will show you. Let me complete this part first, then I will show you. So white ignition temperature of white phosphorus is 35 degrees centigrade, right? That means whenever white phosphorus will come in contact with anything, the temperature of that is above 35 degrees centigrade, it will catch fire immediately. So in hot summer days, generally the temperature here in our area that rises above 35 degrees centigrade temperature. So in a hot day, if you take out white phosphorus, when the temperature is 35 degree or above that, If you take out white phosphorus in air, it will catch fire immediately without anything. You don't need to burn it separately. You just take it out in air, because white phosphorus is generally stored in water. Okay, it is stored in water. You just take it out in the air, it will burn, it will get burnt immediately. So these types of combustions are called spontaneous combustions. Combustion can also be classified as complete combustion and incomplete combustion. Okay, I will come to this part later. Before that, and another type of combustion is also there, that is called slow combustion. Generally, in maximum cases, the slow combustion is sometimes it is also kept in under the rapid combustion. Okay, this is why it is not told separately. Slow combustion is also there, like burning of candles or burning of woods or fire, like this. So these substances, they burn very slowly, right? The candle or wood or even a lamp, oil lamp also. So you can see here that oil lamp, that option is given here in rapid combustion. So this is why the slow combustion option is not mentioned everywhere, because sometimes it is also people also just keep it in rapid combustion. Rapid combustion and slow combustion are almost same, but the rapid combustion, the combustions that take much time, like the burning of candle, burning of oil lamp, they are sometimes called slow combustions. The Monoshi wants to see white phosphorus reaction, right? Okay. Let's see if I can show you that or not. Can you see that page, the screen? Students?
Yes, ma'am.
Monoshi? Okay. So see here, all the three types of combustions you can see. See the first one, this is spontaneous combustion. If a substance burns itself due to contact with air, then the combustion is called spontaneous combustion. No external heat is to be supplied for it. See, this is the white phosphorus. It is, see what happens. It is always stored under water. Okay. So this much of white phosphorus is never used in laboratories. We use very little amount of white phosphorus for any experiment. If we need to show this experiment of spontaneous combustion to students, we will use very little amount of white phosphorus. So here it is, the amount is given that that much amount we don't use. So here you can see that the ignition temperature is for white phosphorus is 35 degrees centigrade. So it catches fire instantly or spontaneously in a hot day. So in a hot day, if you just evaporate this water, we cannot just take it out like that. If you evaporate this water, and whenever at that moment white phosphorus will come in contact with oxygen, it will catch fire itself. You don't need to apply heat or energy from outside. It will catch fire itself. Now slow combustion that I was telling you, the slow combustion, and another example is given here, that is the combustion or burning of food materials in our stomach. A completely different example is given here. Or that I was telling you, burning of wood, burning of candle, these are also examples of slow combustions. Now rapid combustion, you can see whenever you are burning anything, matchstick or oil lamp, instantly you are burning it. Just due to the friction, the energy or the heat and the flame light, these are released. So these are called the rapid combustions. And next comes explosion. What is this? Does this seem like a cracker?
No, ma'am, bomb.
Like a
Yes,
bomb.
this is bomb. So that
Ma'am,
is
grenade.
also, I don't know which kind of bomb is that, but yeah, it seems like a bomb. And crackers are also, burning crackers are also examples of explosion. So in explosion, the substance burns suddenly with evolution of a large amount of heat and large amount of sound. And what thing that is not written here, heat, sound, and light also. Sometimes toxic gases or smokes are also released in case of bombs. And sometimes, as I have told you before, if those combustible substances are put inside this substance, either bomb or cracker, using too much of pressure, then a lot of energy is also released. That energy is very, very harmful for us. See, so you can see the emission, you could see the emission of light. The sound I can't show you here. The sound, you all know that the sound comes out, how much sound it can produce. And like this, smokes can also be formed. In explosion, the substance burns suddenly with evolution of large amount of heat, sound, and light. Smokes or gases can also be emitted. Gunpowder completely burns up in a very short time, which results in explosion. Okay, so these are some examples of different types of combustions. Now, another two types of combustions are there, called complete combustions and incomplete combustions. As can you remember that I have told you before that production or formation of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide, both are formed by as a result of the reaction between carbon and oxygen. Okay, carbon dioxide also is also formed as a result of the reaction between carbon and oxygen. Carbon monoxide, so what is the formula for carbon dioxide? That is CO2 for carbon dioxide. Why dioxide? Because two oxygens are here, you can see. And carbon monoxide, mono means one, that means only one oxygen will be present there. So this is carbon dioxide and this is carbon monoxide. Both are formed due to the reaction between carbon and oxygen. Okay, both are formed due to the reaction between carbon and oxygen. Now, carbon
which is more harmful?
Both are equally harmful. Carbon dioxide is also a greenhouse gas. Carbon monoxide is also a greenhouse gas. Okay, so if you go for about informations, then carbon monoxide will be more harmful, but carbon dioxide is equally harmful, because that is a toxic gas that if the amount of carbon dioxide gets increased in the environment, we will start dying. And the carbon dioxide is also a greenhouse gas. Carbon monoxide is also a greenhouse gas that increases the Earth's temperature. That is called global warming, right? So along with some other greenhouse gases. So now from
Ma'am, examples of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide.
Examples? No example is there.
Ma'am, from where they comes? We know carbon dioxide comes from burning any fuel, but carbon monoxide
also. Yes, carbon monoxide also, and not only from burning any fuel. Okay, by the like when it's a thunderstorm there. Okay, so due to those sparks, the carbon and oxygen that are present in our atmosphere, they fuse sometimes. Okay, due to that reaction also carbon dioxide is produced. Okay, and carbon monoxide can also be produced by the burning of fuels, as you are telling. So if the burning is a complete burning or complete, this is what I am telling you, if the burning is completely done, it's a complete combustion, then carbon dioxide will be produced. And if the burning is not done completely, in half a way it is left, so it is stopped, it has been stopped. Okay, so if the burning is not complete, due to that incomplete burning, carbon monoxide is produced. Is it clear to you, Monoshi, now?
Yes, ma'am.
The carbon is present in the fuel. When we are burning any kind of fuel, carbon is present in the fuel, right? In the fuel, carbon is present. This is the combustible substance. The fuel is the combustible substance. It contains carbon. Now the carbon that is present in the fuel, that will react with the atmospheric oxygen. And if the burning is complete, if it's a complete combustion, then it will form carbon dioxide. And if the burning is not complete, it's an incomplete burning, then it will form carbon monoxide. Okay, so is it clear to you all? Now
Yes,
let's see
ma'am.
what is
Complete
there in the
burning
book.
carbon dioxide and incomplete burning carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide. Yes, this is just an example. Like this, so many different examples are there. So what is complete combustion? This type of combustion takes place when sufficient amount of oxygen is available for the fuel to burn. What I was telling you, the fuel burns completely, resulting in the formation of carbon dioxide and water. I have just told you many magicians use paper with extra oxygen molecules. This special paper will burn completely, leaving no traces when burned. Complete combustion produces a more orange or blue flame. So whenever you will see a more orange or blue flame, that means that is a complete combustion. And you have seen magicians when they burn any paper, so no traces we can see, right? So they just show these types of tricks or magics. They burn the paper, but no traces, no black colored ashes are left behind. So why that is possible? Because the papers that they use, they already use some absorbed extra oxygen in them. So if extra oxygen is there, that means that will lead to a complete combustion, and that will not leave any kind of traces. That is a magical trick. Now incomplete combustion, the type of combustion that takes place
Ma'am,
when
how we
there is
can get means a paper with full of oxygen molecules?
that is special kind of paper that are made available by the magicians only. If we want to show them magic trick, then we will have to learn from where we will get it and how we will do it. Okay, but generally the magicians do this for showing those tricks. So
it has a recipe.
no recipe is there. Okay, they just do it by just adding extra oxygen to the paper. You can see here many magicians use paper with an extra oxygen molecules. Those papers are available already. Okay, they can make it. Now incomplete combustions, this type of combustion takes place when there is not enough oxygen for the combustion of fuel. If there is not enough oxygen, this can sometimes lead to the production of carbon monoxide, which is very harmful to the human body. Incomplete combustion will produce a yellow flame. An example of incomplete combustion is the burning of paper, because there remains ash. If ash is remaining there, that means that is an example of incomplete combustion. So if you are burning a paper, you can see ashes after the burning, that means that was incomplete combustion. But if you are burning a paper with no leaving no ashes, that means that was a complete combustion. Okay, let's see what is
Okay,
written here. I'm zooming in this part. Incomplete combustion, okay, carbon dioxide plus water vapor plus CO, limited supply of oxygen. So if we are burning this fuel, so here wood is used, and there is an incomplete combustion, then it will produce carbon monoxide and water vapor only, not carbon dioxide. And after some time, if enough oxygen is present there or added somehow, then the carbon dioxide will be again converted to carbon monoxide will be again converted to carbon dioxide. Now, what is a flame?
No, I want to say something. If a carbon dies, then it is called carbon dioxide. If carbon means any carbon boy's names means black color boy names is Mona, then carbon monoxide.
No such explanation is there. You will not find anywhere. For if you want to remember it in that way, that is different thing. But that is what the die means, 2 oxygen. You can see how many oxygens are there. CO2, 2 means die, and mono means 1. Okay, I'm again showing you that thing. In science, mono means 1, die means 2, tri means TRI, tri. Tri means 3. And for 4, what we should write?
And quadra.
Quadra or tetra. You can write quadra or tetra. You can write tetra also. And for 5,
poly.
penta. For
Penta.
5, we should use penta. P-E-N-T-A, penta. Okay. So for now, up to 5 is enough, sufficient for you. But still there are other names like for 6 hexa, for 7 hepta, for 8 octa. Okay, like that. Up to 10, so many names are there. You don't need to, up to 5, it's okay for today. Now let's see what is flame. Okay. Do you know that everything that burns does not produce a flame? So whenever we burn something, we think that the flame is there. But everything that is burned doesn't produce a flame. So for that, we must know, the concept of flame must be cleared. Only substances that can vaporize burn with a flame. A flame is a region where the combustion of fuel takes place. It is produced by those substances which vaporize on heating, while those substances which do not vaporize do not produce a flame. So burning doesn't mean the production of flame. Only when we will see things are vaporizing, that means evaporation, the production of water vapor. Only there we can say that flame is present. If there is no water vapor is being produced, no evaporation is there, the things are not vaporizing, that means no flame is present there. For example, coal doesn't vaporize. So you must have seen charcoal. Have you seen burning coal? Have you seen burning coal ever?
Yes, ma'am.
The steam engines you can see in where in the power stations you can see the coals burning, or even in the homes also for cooking. Sometimes we use coals. Yes. Who is this?
I have seen in that where the corn are buying.
Where the? Yes, rhythm.
Ma'am, when I was buying corn, there I have seen.
Okay. Corn. Yes, corn. Yes, they also use these coals, right? Because their oven, they have natural ovens. Natural ovens means they don't use gases. They burn the coals for getting the heat and for making the food, right, prepared. So yes, they are also, you must have seen that burning of the coal and burning of kerosene lamp. Do they look same? No, they look different. When you burn a candle, when you burn a Bunsen burner or a kerosene lamp, it will look different. When you will burn coal, it will look different. And you will also see that they will vaporize. Burning coal will never vaporize. That means they will never emit they will never produce the water vapor. Coal does not vaporize, so it burns without a flame, producing glow. So that is not called flame. The light that you can see, that is called glow. Whereas kerosene oil produces flame as it changes into its vapor state on heating. So whenever you will keep any very smooth surface like which cannot conduct heat also, something like just a glass, a clear piece of glass, you can hold not too close to the kerosene lamp, a little bit away from the kerosene lamp, from the top of the kerosene lamp. After some time, you will see that the glass will vaporize. Very tiny drops of water you can see at the surface of the glass. So this is how you can also check it, that the kerosene, from the kerosene lamp, the light that we are getting, that is actually from the flame, coming from the flame. So in case of burning coal, as it is not vaporizing, we will call it just a glow. And in case of burning kerosene, as it is vaporizing, so we will call it a flame, not a glow. Okay. So many different types of flames are given here. Examples of different types of flames, not only flames. Okay, candle flame is given here. Okay, let me see what is in the next part. Okay, so in the next part, we will see that the different parts or layers, you can say different regions or zones of a flame. Non-luminous flame, luminous, non-luminous zone, luminous zone, and dark zone. So in a flame, now we will closely observe a flame. Okay, when you will burn a candle, the flame that you can see at the top of the candle, it has three different parts or three different zones. One is luminous zone, one is non-luminous zone, and another is dark zone. So let's see what is the non-luminous zone of the candle flame. The luminous zone is surrounded by a thin. The luminous zone is surrounded by a thin zone called non-luminous zone. It is also the outermost zone. In this zone, there is a complete combustion of wax vapors due to sufficient supply of oxygen from the surrounding air. The flame appears blue in this region because of complete burning of wax vapor. This is the hottest part of the flame. So what is the hottest part of the flame? The outermost part of the flame is the hottest part of the flame. Why? Because this is the only part that comes in contact with oxygen, right? As this is the outermost part, so it comes in contact with the oxygen present in the air. And so as it comes in sufficient contact with sufficient oxygen, so complete combustion happens here. What happens here? Complete combustion. So this is why, as complete combustion happens here, so this is why this is the hottest zone or hottest part of any flame. The outermost part of any flame is the hottest zone. Okay, for today, you just mark up to this. Tomorrow we will continue this part and we will start from luminous zone. The next part or the middle part of the flame, and dark zone is the central part or the final part of the innermost part of the flame. Okay, so mark up to this. Tomorrow we will continue from the next part. Read this part very carefully at home, and if you have any problem, any doubt, you can tell me.